Episode 15. I have my guy Mike here today, Mr. Gerardi. He is a health and performance coach focusing on fitness and overall just helping you become a better version of yourself. So, Mike, thanks for coming on, man. We got a lot to get into, so introduce yourself and let's get to it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So my name's Mike Gerardi. I live in Florida, just from Boston, and I'm an online fitness coach. I coach in person and online. Most of my clients are online. My kind of thing is losing muscle, building the fat, and I'm excited to be here today and give you guys more insight.
Yeah, man. I do want to jump in now with your own journey and your own self because most people look at fitness coaches and this and that, and they want to know what has you been your own journey. So kind of dive in.
Yeah, so I was I was a skinny kid, didn't eat a lot. My mom used to call me a twig and so I had to definitely pack on the pounds. I came into high school, like I wanted to go to the MLB. I was going to be a professional baseball player. I wanted to be super strong. Never really like body built because of that, but I got hurt. Long story short, fell in love with kind of bodybuilding, building muscle. Everyone wants to be that jack dude, senior year of high school. And so that was kind of like the beginning for me. And then it really turned into a passion more so than just, doing it for myself. I liked helping other people. So in 2018, I created my Instagram account for fitness, which is kind of a big thing for me. I was always someone who cared about what others thought. And so I kind of got over that.
Mm.
And for 2 years straight, I was just posting content for free, no selling, anything like that. And eventually it kind of led up to what my brand is today, which I'm super grateful for.
Solid, man. I know you have like an educational background as well.
Yeah, so I graduated from the University of Massachusetts with my Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology, which is, the study of human movement. Taken a few courses. I'm a pain-free performance specialist through Dr. John Russin. And then I got all the way up to my last semester in graduate school for physical therapy. Before all this kind of took off, my main goal was to be a physical therapist. And I did a little detour at the end and started to go kind of into fitness full throttle.
Nice, nice. Now, I guess for your own personal journey, it's kind of different than the norm where, I don't know what the percent is now. I think it's almost up to 60% of Americans obese, but you wanted to put on the weight and the muscle. So kind of how did you go about that? Did you just kind of throw yourself into just killing weights and just eating big steaks, or how
Yeah.
was your process?
Yeah. So again, I was probably like 16, 17 years old, and I just wanted to be as big as possible. So I bought meal replacement powder. It was called True Mass, I think, and basically like 750 calories in that thing. And I would have one. I had one every single day from like sophomore year of high school all the way up to like junior year of college without
Mm.
missing a beat. I take it on vacation. I take it on road trips, whatever. That thing did not leave my side. I had creatine and I was eating every 2 hours. So every 2 hours, I would have something to eat, whether it's a snack. Usually it was a meal. I think at my heaviest, I was 220, 219, eating a meal every 2 hours with one snack in between, um, plus that meal replacement. And that was like my religion. Like I did not veer from that no matter what. Like we would go play ball out on the courts and I'd bring my meals with me knowing, okay, I'll be there for 2 hours. I need a meal and a snack. So it was just really getting as much food down into me as possible while trying to lift as heavy as possible.
Nice, nice. Now, how did you go about selecting those foods and kind of making sure you stayed consistent? Did you start to like track your macros, or you just kind of told yourself, look, I'm gonna do this and there's no ifs, ands, or buts?
Yeah, so I'm a very like driven person. Like when I set my mind to something, I'm not going to quit. Very mentally tough, kind of thick skin if you want to call it.
Mm.
So, for me, I'm like, hey, I am going to do this and there's nothing that is going to, be able to stop me. So I had my goals on the gym, I had my goals on the scale. I tried counting calories in the beginning, just did not work for me, wasn't going to happen. I was living at home and so, I was eating anything and everything in the fridge. I come from an Italian family. We're having pasta, chicken cutlets. We're having, eggplant parm, all that kind of stuff. And
Nice.
that's some good bulking food, man. Right. So like I'm having
Yeah.
volume of that. And so again, not the way I would do it now if I had to redo it. But then I'm 16, my metabolism's awesome. I'm not worried about getting fat. I just want to get as big as possible, like just size.
Mm. Now, kind of to touch on what you brought up. So I guess with all the education, the knowledge, and the experience you have now, I mean, what adjustments would you say you would make if you had the chance to do so with the knowledge you have now?
Step one is I would definitely take my warm ups a lot more serious. So, I was lifting shoulder pressing like 105 pounds in each hand over my head with dumbbells. And maybe I would do like 10 push ups and some arm circles for a warm up. Right. And so that's just like not the way that you want to go about it. When you're
Mm,
young, it's like you're invincible, you're great, your joints don't hurt. But I definitely think I'm feeling it a little bit now because of what I didn't do before. And then the other way, again, I just wouldn't do a dirty bulk. I don't think. I just think, if you do a dirty bulk, then you're going to spend a lot more time, energy, and effort to get the unwanted fat off to eventually
mm,
want to be lean again. So I would take my time in slowly increasing calories, slowly increasing the amount of volume I'm eating over time, and not so much about the instant gratification of wanting to get bigger and bigger each week on the scale.
I see. Nice. And throughout that, I'm sure you either developed your own workout plan or just kind of evolved in the types of exercises you were doing to, just keep things, I guess, not stagnant, but also to make sure you're hitting the muscles not only with one specific exercise, but in multiple forms of movements as well.
Right. Yeah. So all about efficiency. The more I learned about the body, right? Kinesiology, study of human movement, how the bicep works, where it attaches, and then physical therapy is just like you have to be a movement professional. That's what physical therapists are. So I'm learning every tendon, every joint, every muscle, every nerve, like anything in your body, I've had an exam on. So knowing that, I really try to get my workouts to be as efficient as possible, right? We're all busy. We don't have 2 hours to spend in the gym anymore like we did when we were 16. So I want to get in, get out within 45 to 60 minutes. How can I be as efficient as possible as that? So, studies say you want to hit each muscle group 2 times per week. So I have to build my split to be able to hit my legs twice a week, hit my back twice a week, my chest twice a week, etc. And then like on top of that, bench press, when you look at EMG studies, aren't the best way to grow your chest. They're great for, hey man, I bench press more than you, and they're great for total upper body strength. But when you talk about hypertrophy and actually building the muscle, the
Mm,
bench press isn't the best for the chest. It's going to be a dumbbell chest press, or it's going to be one of a machine, right? And that's just a chest example. That goes really for anything though. So it's just through research and kind of being in the field, a lot of trial and error with yourself is ultimately what it's going to take. So this is why I always tell everyone, this isn't a quick kind of fix, and anyone that promises you that is, probably lying to you.
nice, man. That's something that's key. This is episode 15, but a majority of my guests, multiple areas from either trading, diets, it can be anything. And the main thing is there's not a get rich quick scheme. And most of your goals are going to take a lot more time than the norms think. So I
Yeah.
do want to kind of jump into that. I guess when you got your first client, was it them reaching out to you, or did you just kind of find people that were missing either consistency or the knowledge, or how did that come about?
Yeah. So my first ever sold program, I remember like it was yesterday. I think it was like a year into posting content. I didn't even mean to sell anything. The kid just, hit me up. Hey, can I get a workout program? Sure. 120 bucks, no problem. So I threw that number out. It just worked. That was my first ever sale. I was pumped. I was like, holy crap, I can make money from this. And then I remember I was selling 6-week programs for $50. And I was like giving them my all, check-ins, everything. And I don't remember my very first, actually, I think I do remember my very first client. And I've realized through the time that, you can try to get as much volume in clients as you want, but if they're not good quality clients, aka if they're only willing to spend 50 to 100 bucks to transform their lives, it's going to make your life a whole lot more stressful. And you really want to work with the client that doesn't really want to change that much. Right.
Mm,
So it started off with, I can remember his face with my first client. And I've just kept getting a lot of those that just kept falling off because they don't have a lot of skin in the game, So there's nothing really holding them to, okay, I want to see this program through for the next 3 to 6 months. So that's what brought me to where I'm at today.
Did you kind of have to have some sort of a filtering process? Because every year come January, everyone says, "Oh, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be in the gym."
Yeah.
And then come March or February, at least 70% are gone. And
Right.
I think, like you said, there's tons of people that want to do these things, that want to see these changes. So I guess, like, how do you filter that out so you're committing time to someone who has that why behind them, and they're also going to make sure they see themselves through it?
Right. So going back to your last question, like now I'll post on Instagram, I'll post on Facebook where thousands of people are seeing this. And then
Hmm.
I have hundreds filling out applications, right? So to weed through that, I have first like a filtering out process, right? Scale of 1 to 10, how important is losing fat and getting off your diabetes medication to you right now? I
Mm.
only accept a certain number out of that 10. If you're below that number, I'm going to say thank you for applying, but I don't think right now is a good time. I asked their why, right? Yes, they want to lose 30 pounds, but why? Because it has to hurt a little bit, right? You don't want to take pictures around, your friends because you're a little bit on the bigger side, or you don't fit into a certain dress anymore, so you don't go out as often, stuff like that. Those pain points are what keep people engaged and motivated through 3, 6, 12-month programs. It's not about losing the 30 pounds. So I filter out through the application process. Then I'll have a sales call, or I like to call it a service call, where, hey, are we a good fit? And we're kind of really digging deep. I'm asking some uncomfortable questions about their lifestyle. They're talking to a stranger. So I'm
Hmm.
asking them to open up a lot. And ultimately, if it is a good fit, let's do it. And if not, then maybe sometime soon or in the near future. But definitely have to filter out people.
Nice, man. Another thing to add to that, I guess, is I'm sure most people look at certain fitness coaches and they think this is only for certain information on just to get stronger. But I'm sure you provide things like nutrition, taking care of these certain muscle and body parts. With all this knowledge you have, I'm sure you're kind of putting it all into one where you're giving a lot of key knowledge as well.
Yeah, man, we do it all. So, you can't outwork a bad diet. So you can have the best workout
Mm.
program in the world, but if your nutrition isn't on point, you're kind of beating a dead horse. And the other way around, right? You you can focus on nutrition, you'll get somewhere, but are you ever going to get lean and tone, which everyone wants, from just eating a lot of protein, restricting calories, etc.? No, because tone comes from having enough muscle definition. So the two go together very intimately. So we do everything from meal plans, workout programs, and then the big piece for everybody is that accountability, right? You, I, everyone on this earth can go on YouTube, type in a workout program, find the best foods to eat to lose weight, but we still have 70 to 80% of the population overweight, right? So what people really need from a coach is implementation. So how do I help Michael Diaz, as a busy entrepreneur, podcaster, etc., implement all of this knowledge into your lifestyle specifically? And I
Mm.
think that's where a lot of coaches miss the mark, where what works for you may not work for a busy dad who has 2 kids and 2 jobs. He can't go to the gym 5 days a week for an hour each time and meal prep every single night. That's just not sustainable or doable for that specific person, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, it really does. And that's kind of the thing I wanted to touch on, because with the way the situation of America is, it's unfortunate. Everyone's obese, almost everyone's on some sort of prescription drug. And then on top of that, some individuals that do kind of take that chance and say, I actually want to get out of this. Some of them see, oh, I got to go keto, or, oh, I got to go vegan. And most people don't even realize to ask themselves, like, what is best for my body?
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of an issue we're almost having, is where they're just kind of looking and seeing what everyone else is doing, and kind of eliminating that key point of personalizing the diet and the fitness according to their needs as well.
Yeah, I always ask the question, right? If you can you do keto for the rest of your life? Can you fast for the rest of your life?
Mm.
90% of the people will tell me no. I'll have some that say I love it. I don't have to eat until 12 o'clock. I stop eating at 6. It's great. Sure, those are minority, but 90% of the people I ask will say, no, I can't not have a piece of cake, for the rest of my life, or can't not enjoy carbs whenever I want and only do keto, or no, I can't starve myself for forever, right? Those are like extreme examples, but if you can't do it forever, why just put a band-aid on it now? It's like putting a band-aid on a hole on a sinking ship, right? It's going to work now, but it's not going to work long term. You're ultimately just going to be in the same position you once started in.
Yeah, man, precisely. The other thing with that is we're intermingling a lot between fitness and diet, but I think this branches a lot more into just fitness and diet. And I'm sure you've gotten feedback from your clients where being a part of your coaching and your program and implementing these things hasn't just brought change in their fitness and diet, but also in other areas of life. It could be their business all of a sudden is performing better. They're a better husband in the home, or they're just overall better to their kids and in other areas of life. So, I mean, touch on kind of where you've seen that happen as well.
Yeah, I actually just had a business owner graduate with me after 6 months. He said that within the first 12 weeks of being in the program, it was the best. He's had the best 2 months of business that he's ever had. More
Mm,
mental clarity, more focus, more energy, and that can all go towards the business, right? I have a dad who couldn't used to play. His kid's name's Tommy. Could never came into the program, didn't have energy after work to give his kid the time of day. Now little Tommy and him are playing all the time, and they're spending quality time together because he's not so exhausted from eating like crap and not moving other than, what he's doing at work. And then I don't have to explain this, but you kind of feel crappy when you eat crappy. And then when you talk about anxiety, depression, 90% of the serotonin is made in your gut lining. So if you are not feeding yourself, aka giving the food in your stomach, giving your stomach good food, how can you ever expect your brain up here to give you what you want, right? So if you're eating like crap, you're going to feel and look like crap. If you eat well, it does wonders for depression and anxiety. And I always say movement is medicine, right? So like those endorphins that run through you after a workout, is no better feeling than leaving a workout knowing you just put it all there and you did something to better yourself today.
yeah, man. I really think a lot more comes out of this, and taking this, some people would almost say it's a risk or leaping out of their comfort zone, um, but I think it's more of a commitment and accountability thing than, I guess, a risk and out of your comfort zone, because like you said, a lot of people have the knowledge to either a, they know where to find a workout plan, they know where to find a meal plan online, but it's more on the side of the accountability and the consistency side. So I guess, how do you help these individuals that are pretty much coming to you and saying, look, I have kids. I really don't even have time to take care of myself. Now, all of a sudden, how am I going to lose weight and build muscle?
Right. Everyone's busy in life. I haven't met one person that if I ask, "Hey, are you busy?" No, life's great. I'm so bored all day, right? Like it's just a matter of where does this getting healthy, losing weight, building muscle, feeling better about yourself, where does that fall on your list of priorities? Your family's going to come first, right? You need to make sure there's a roof over your head. You need to make sure you're running water, obviously. But when we talk about that hour of Netflix at night, or that 30 minutes you spend texting during your lunch break, there's little bits and pieces that anyone can fit in a 30 to 45-minute workout 3 to 4 times per week. Anybody on this planet can do it. I haven't met one person that can't. I've met people that say they can't, but it's when you break it down, it kind of truth comes out, right? So whether you have to wake up an hour earlier, go to bed an hour later, cut out that favorite show at night, prepare your meals ahead of time so you don't have to spend an hour cooking dinner,
Mm,
all different ways that you kind of have to play with your own schedule and see where you can be more efficient. Because if you can just get in a workout 1 or 2 times per week, it's very sporadic. It's just whenever you have, a free second, that's where consistency, becomes a problem, where life's not always going to be great. So if you can only work out and be healthy when life is easy, that insinuates that when life gets hard again, you're just going to fall off the train and ultimately end up at square one.
yeah, man. One other thing I did want to ask is, I guess, as you're building, these routines, and these kind of disciplines with these individuals, I'm sure they're looking to you to lead by example. And I know you have your own workout plans and things like that. So I know with every client, it's a process of building that relationship. So how would you say, I guess, goes hand in hand with being accountable and disciplined yourself and your fitness, and also kind of building that relationship with the client as well to help them build that consistency too?
Yeah, so I can, only give from my perspective, right? So
Mm,
from what I do. So some days as of recent, as the business has grown, I legitimately cannot make it to the gym some days. If I do, it's going to be 8 o'clock at night. And if I do that, I'm sacrificing sleep. So I have to weigh it out. But if I miss it, bet your bottom dollar I'm making it up during the weekend at some point, right? So I'm working out 5 to 6 days per week. I put up my story today. I go from 7 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. My schedule is blocked out. So what did I do this morning? Instead of waiting midday, noontime to go to the gym, I set my alarm for 5 a.m. I was out the door by 5:30, and I was back for my client by 7. So
mm.
knowing that, I planned ahead and I prepared for that. And so I would say that for the same thing, anyone else struggling with accountability or consistency, you know, you have to, one, plan ahead, and two, again, go back to your why. No one can do it for you, but you have two options: either stay the way you are and not change anything and just be okay with not feeling the best, or do the hard stuff and make a change. Because if it was easy, no one would be overweight. No one would be unhappy ultimately with themselves, their health, their body.
Nice. Nice. A few other questions I have regarding, I guess preparation for working out and also, maintenance as well, because especially for a lot of us like young men, when I go to the gym, it's usually just put weight on the bar and let's get to it.
Mhm.
And I'm sure for older individuals as well, they either have some, aches and pains, some rough joints and things like that. So I mean, do you recommend like yoga? Do you recommend all kinds of stretching, or do you kind of find something that's, best with what they're looking for?
Yeah, I think it's everyone's unique in their own way. So some people maybe have a mobility issue, maybe it's a flexibility issue where it's muscle. Mobility is more, joint. Yoga is great for really both of those, but maybe a mobility routine. I program kind of a feel good day for some people, like older people, or if you're struggling with joint pain, etc. Working out's very taxing on the body, especially if you're going
Mm,
heavy. So, we're definitely working some mobility work there. There's a ton of different exercises depending on, what joints are stiff or what's giving you pain. Stretching never hurts, whether it's dynamic in the beginning or static at the end. Yoga won't hurt. Again, all kind of stuff that everyone's unique in their own way. It's kind of trial and error. Usually what it comes down to when it's joint is either a restriction, or you kind of just got to back off the weights a little bit, maybe take a deload week or two, and then start
mm.
ramping back up. So that's kind of my lens.
Nice, nice. And to kind of piggyback off of that, on the recovery side, everyone nowadays pretty much has a cold plunge or or something to that
Yeah.
regard. So with the knowledge you have, I guess, what are some points on recovery as well, especially when they're starting out? And I'm sure they're probably coming to you saying, "Man, I'm sore as can be because I haven't worked out in who knows how long."
Right. I think that the cold plunge is not going to be good for, soreness, unless cold plunge in my eyes for muscle wise is only good if you're in pain. So I've had
Mm,
hip pain the last couple months. I get into a cold plunge, it numbs it out and I feel good, for the rest of the day. Now, is that going to fix my hip pain? No, but it makes it just kind of feel good. The other benefit of the cold plunge is, mentally it wakes you up, gets your adrenaline going, releases some dopamine, fight or flight kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a shot of espresso. But like in terms of muscle soreness recovery, I think you're better off with dynamic active stuff, getting blood flowing, stretching a little bit, again, mobility work. I think that kind of stuff will be more directly correlated with recovery post workout for muscle. There's, again, that's opinion, a little bit factual, but there's tons and tons of research. It's all conflicting. It all comes down to, what works best for you. A lot of it's mental as well.
nice, man. I'll kind of wrap up here shortly. but I do have a few entrepreneurship questions, I guess, too.
Mhm.
So you were going the whole school route and things like that. So did you have a plan, I guess, before you started just putting your content out there? Was your plan to just, become a physical therapist and help people through that route, or what was the original plan, I guess?
So I remember like it was yesterday because in my head, my exact plan was I'm going to post content from now all the way up until I graduate physical therapy school. I'm going to open up my own physical therapy clinic. I'm going to be a trainer
Mm,
slash physical therapist. The point for starting my content so early is because I wanted to build my brand. So
mm,
by the time I graduated, I have a really, really strong brand and I'd be known in the industry. And so it almost kind of worked out exactly how I wanted it to, minus the physical therapy stuff, which, things change, right? So I was going through school feeling more and more distant from that. I want to be a physical therapist, more into I want to have my own personal training business, which ultimately led me to, leaving school. But that was always in my head where I knew I wanted to be a business owner, but the type of business owner I became was a little bit different.
nice. So I guess on that note, would you say you're impacting much more people now through the coaching that you're doing now rather than, I guess, that original plan, having a physical therapist shop and all that? Would you say your impact is much more, I guess, impactful than it would have been?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, think about it this way. I have about 60 something clients right now. There is no personal trainer in the world that can handle 60 clients in person. You just
Mm,
don't have that much time. Even if you did, you'd be burnt out as heck, right? So that plus I have millions of people that I'm helping that aren't even my clients, right?
mm,
That are just seeing me on social media. So again, when I started, that was my goal to open up a brick and mortar place, physical therapy clinic, etc., with the gym inside of it. But that's only because this whole online coaching and stuff wasn't talked about before COVID. So I
mm,
was a pre-COVID kind of business owner type, vibe where I wasn't even thinking about anything like this. It wasn't even, no one talked about it because it wasn't a thing. Then
mm.
once COVID happened, that changed the game.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess you would say rather than the pandemic becoming a hindrance to you, you kind of use that as an opportunity more than anything.
Oh, dude, the pandemic changed my life for the best.
Wow.
Very bad for a lot of people, but I am in a way grateful that it happened selfishly, just
Mm,
because it changed my mindset, it changed who I was as a person, it changed my whole directory of life, again for the better.
mm. I guess to pick up off of that, plans for the future, I guess, do you plan on creating your own products? I know some trainers out there, they don't really recommend certain whey proteins or other products like that because of the ingredients. I guess, how do you kind of look at that for the future? Do you see some things that you kind of steer your clients away from and some products that you have more trust in, or are you kind of thinking of just personalizing a few to help your clients get the best results?
Yeah, so no product line in the future for me as of now. Things could always
Mm,
change, but I think my time and energy is better spent elsewhere where I can directly, impact people. So if I can put something on an Amazon link in my cart and get like a 50-cent commission for it, which I don't care about the commission, but if I can just have someone order on Amazon, it's already pre-made. Like I don't really care about making the extra, few bucks. I'm in the service industry. I loved helping people. I love changing lives. It's what I do. I love
mm.
talking to people, having that intimate connection. So that's the route I'm going to go. And so, answer your question, I don't think so, but it could always change in the future.
Nice. One other thing, I guess, throughout this coaching process, have you had any, I guess, hurdles or I guess valleys as well throughout all this journey, coaching individuals, starting up? What were some of the hurdles, I guess, you've kind of come across?
Oh, dude, there's hurdles every day as a business owner. It's never easy. I love people that like say entrepreneurship. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a business owner. Like it's not like it is hard. Like the freedom of being able to be your own boss will always outweigh the hard, but man, it is hard because everything is on you. Everything is your fault, right? So the client's not doing well, that's my fault. If something goes wrong in the business, that's my fault. If something with accounting goes wrong, that's my fault. So I think that, being a business owner has definitely its pros, it has its cons, but how much do you value your freedom is
Mm.
kind of what it really comes down to.
Yeah, man. I guess to finish up on that, there's a high importance, especially in the industry you're in, on accountability, really. So I guess not only for yourself, but for clients as well. Do you almost have them find an accountability partner and kind of change their surroundings? Because I know that surrounding and the external impact definitely makes a difference. If I'm in the cabinet and I got nothing but donuts and things like that, I'm going to be inclined to go grab that. Same as, if I have other individuals around me that are saying, "What are you doing? Wasting your time going to work out and this and that." I want you to touch on that.
Yeah, I think who you surround yourself with is huge. If you want to look at your future, look at your five closest friends. That's where you're heading, right? And so, yeah, there are little tips and tricks there, right? Get the Oreos out of the cabinet, probably throw
Mm,
away that apple juice, right? I'm not one to say any restrictiveness is good, but if you're somebody who, you can't help yourself every single day, but to eat five Oreos at a time, probably don't want them in your house, right? Accountability, right? I think my program, us as coaches, my co-coaches that I have, we're unparalleled when it comes to accountability. Like, you look at our reviews, testimonials, that's the number one thing everyone talks about, is that, we hold you accountable. If we have to blow up your phone, if we have to hit you up every single day, we're going to make sure that you do not fail, because if you fail, that's not a good reflection on us. I always
mm,
say this. One, we don't feel good when our clients fail. And two, if everyone fails my program, I don't have those nice before and after pictures that you're going to see on my Instagram and those nice testimonials. If I don't have that, I can't work for myself and have my own business, right? So that's why, one, I filter out, and then two, the accountability is like nothing that anyone else can give you. That being said, I can't do it for you. So I can text you every day. I can give you all the tools you need, but ultimately it's going to come down to you. Can you get in your car and go to the gym? And can you take an hour on Sunday to meal prep your meals? That we
mm.
can't do for you. So there's a little bit of, yeah, you got to do your part too.
Yeah. I'm sure there's been instances when clients have given you pushback. Oh, I got a meal plan Sunday. Is it only chicken and broccoli? Things like that. So how have you kind of dealt with like the pushback too?
So I always say we have an onboarding call and talk about expectations. So one of the expectations is that you be coachable. Because if you had all the answers and you knew what to do and you were doing everything right, we wouldn't be on this call right now, right?
Mm,
So you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone, be coachable, and be willing to learn from professionals that know what they're talking about. Otherwise, why did you hire us in the first place, right? So
mm.
one, it's being coachable, but the other side is it's not a one-way highway. So just because we think that this is the best way for this client, if the client's all the way on the other end of the spectrum, we kind of have to meet halfway, because it's not fair to go from A to Z. Maybe, we'll go from, I don't know, A to M and then M to Z, right?
Mm. On that regard, with the meal planning, how do you guys kind of go about, bringing that variety in the client's needs? Because I'm sure most people think meal plan and they know it's protein and veggie every day, and I
Yep.
just got to get used to it.
Yeah. So we always say, if it's, again, not sustainable, if our goal isn't to get you as ripped as possible in 6 months, our goal is to make you the best version of yourself. Yes, we want you to reach your goals physically in 6 months, but we also want you to
Mm.
do so in a way that is sustainable long term. So if I tell you to eat chicken and rice every single day, you'll be freaking shredded in 6 months. But what happens when you leave me and I'm not texting you every day now? Now you
Precisely.
hated the last 6 months, so you're just going to go back to your old ways. Versus we give a flexible dieting approach in the meal plan where, hey, have a after dinner treat that's 100 calories, whether it's a little brownie, whether it's a cookie or two, just to keep yourself, satisfied and the cravings at a minimum. So no restrictiveness, no foods off limit, but we use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you have to be on point. The other 20%, you can enjoy yourself and, be a normal human.
Yeah, man, precisely. Final questions here. After that 6 month program, what kind of feedback have you gotten where you had a client go through the 6 month program and then almost a year and a half or 3 years, or sometimes even later than that, they message you and they're saying, hey, man, things are going great and better than ever. And I've reached even more goals after that 6 months program.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do, right? So I always say I don't want to work with you for the rest of your life. I want to give you the tools and not only tell you what to do, but teach you the why behind what you're doing. So
Mm,
eventually you do not need me anymore. And
mm.
so there's no better feeling than when a client reaches out a year past their graduation and sends me this, photo of them who I can't even recognize, or their
Wow.
mental state has changed so much.
Mm.
That is the big why for me as a coach and a fitness business owner.
Like you just said there, the mental state. And, I think that is probably first and foremost than anything. And I think, especially with this kind of coaching, you're almost having to change someone's mental state before they see the results on the outside. So is it mainly, I guess, what are like the common hindrances or hiccups you see most individuals have? Is it that they think they just don't have what it takes? Is it like limiting beliefs, or what do you think those common hiccups are?
I think a lot of people are in a victim mindset where it's like, I have
Mm,
this, this, and this. This is why I can't do this. My life is like this. And, you could play victim all you want, but nobody's coming to save you. So you're going to be a victim of your own life, or you have to step out of that shell, out of your comfort zone, start doing things that aren't perfect in an ideal world, right? Waking up an hour earlier. Who the heck wants to do that? But if nothing's changing, nothing is going to change. So you have to make that sacrifice. So I think it's to stop being the victim and pointing fingers at why you can't do this and it's this person's fault, and start having an inner reflection of, okay, what can I do better to make this work? This is my situation. How am I going to make it work?
mm, precisely. I appreciate everything, man, because I honestly think we just jumped right into it. And I love it when we just jump right in and we really hit these main points, because a lot of other episodes and podcasts, people like to give fluff and things like that. At the end of the day, I'm here to just help people and give value. And I can tell, as clear as can be, this is exactly what you're trying to do. So I guess moving forward with this business you built and the coaching and everything, what are your goals, not only for 2023, but what are your goals for the years ahead with this as well? I know you're really looking to change more lives year over year.
Yeah. I want to just be the number one online fitness coaching brand that there is and ever will be. I want to
Mm,
impact as many people as possible. I want to leave a name behind. That's what, all the money you can't die with. You can't die with, anything else, jewelry, clothes, etc. But you can die and go on to the next life with a legacy. So I want to be remembered as, that person that helped thousands of people get healthy, hopefully make a little ripple in the whole fitness industry in a positive way. But more so, I get the odd satisfaction of when Jennifer is 25 years old, signs up for my 1 year program, and then she's texting me when she's 45 and she has grandkids now, and they look up to her as like this big fitness person. Hey, it
mm.
all started with me in the beginning, right? So that's where I get my satisfaction. So the more people I can impact like that, the better. So it's just to grow this thing into a monster.
Yeah, man. I love to hear it, and I love the fact that you have the right intentions, you have the why behind it, you have all the right reasons behind why you're doing this, and at the end of the day, that's why you're getting the results that you are, and that's why you're changing the lives that you are, man. So I do want to thank you, but last but not least, please let everyone know where they can find you, man. I know there's so many people out there that need help, so please let everyone know where they can contact you, find you, get some hands, book a call, anything.
Yeah. So social media handles, TikTok, Instagram, the whole nine is going to be at Gerardi Performance. Shoot me over an email, Mike at Gerardi Performance, or you can just go to GerardiPerformance.com, fill out the contact form, and I will be in touch with you as soon as I can.
Perfect, man. I want to thank you so much. And dude, I give you credit because with that Italian background, man, I'd probably be eating pasta every day myself. So I give you
Yeah.
credit for what you're doing, and thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. This was episode 15. Closing it out, simple and sweet. Please, please, please go check out Mr. Gerardi at Gerardi Performance. And this was episode 15. Thank you guys very much.